Hello and welcome to Sew with Christine. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make a fitted half butterfly sleeve dress. If this is what you're interested in watching, do watch this video to the end and do not forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share this video. If you want to get updates whenever I post new tutorials, turn the post notification bell on. I have my fabric already placed out and they are on fold. This is the front and the one beneath is the back one. So I placed the front one 1 inch away from the back one, and this 1 inch is for the zipper allowance and for the slits opening. At the top part here, I'm going to roll my starting line of about 0.5 inch. So my measurements would be taken from this line. After rolling this starting line, I'm going to measure the width of the neckline. So on this starting line, I'm going to mark down 2.5 inches for the neck width. Then for the neck depth, I'll measure both the front and the back together since both of them are placed here together. So I'm going to take down 2.5 inches for the front neck depth, and from that neck depth, I will connect using a curved line to the neck width. Once I'm done connecting the front neckline, I'm going to take down the back neck depth, which is 1 inch. I'll mark down 1 inch and connect these points to meet with a 2.5 neck width. So this is for the front and the back. We have both neckline drawn. So from this point, I'm going to extend this 1 inch to the zipper allowance. Kindly note that when I was making this measurement, I measured from the center front, not from the center back. From the starting line, I'm going to measure down the waistline here. So I have the waistline at 18 inches, then I'll measure the hip line, which is at 27 inches. Afterwards, I'll place my tape over this marked area like this, and I'm just going to roll a straight line. Once I'm done rolling this, I'm going to roll that of the hip line. Afterwards, I'm going to measure down the arm width, how wide I want the arm to be. So I'm going to be marking down 11 inches. This will be for the arm width. Then I'm just going to connect the points together. Next is to take the body circumference measurements. On this arm width line, I'm going to mark down the quarter bust measurements. Then on the waistline, I'll take down the quarter waist measurement as well. Here I'm marking down 8 inches. Then on the hip line, I'll take 12 inches for the quarter hip measurements. I'm going to connect all these areas that I have marked. Okay, because this butterfly would be a well-fitted butterfly dress. So that is why we have to shape it this way. From the starting line again, I'll go down to the base to take the length of this dress. After marking the hem length, I'm going to measure from the hip line the length of the butterfly. So from the hip line, I'm going to come down by 8 inches. This is where I want the butterfly effect to stop, that's to end. So 8 inches from the hip line is fine. So we've taken all the horizontal measurements, save the one at the hem. At the hem here, I'm going to minus 1.5 inches from the hip measurements, as from the quarter hip measurements. Remember, we have 12 inches for the quarter hip, so 1.5 away from 12 inches is 10.5 inches. So once I'm done marking that, I'll go ahead and connect this. Then I'm going to mark down 1 inch for the seam allowance. From the base here, I'm just going to mark and on this line here for our butterfly length. That's where I want the butterfly to end. I'll also mark 1 inch there. So this is just the only place we'll be adding seam allowance to the side of this butterfly dress. The next thing is to cut out the shape of our butterfly. From this 1-inch allowance I have here, I'm going to draw a curve from that point upward. So just draw a freehand curve from this point to the arm region. The total width that I'm working with is 26 inches. So from the center front, I have 26 inches here, and the other part will be for the allowance. So I'll just go ahead and connect these points to meet with this curved one, like so. Okay, from this place, I thought of redrawing this butterfly curve, and by the time I was done, I wasn't satisfied with it, so I decided to stick with the first one. I'll just proceed to cutting out my pattern. So if you've watched to this point and you are yet to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button, do like this video, share to those that will be interested in watching. And if you have questions, you can drop them in the comment section. Alright, I'm done cutting this area. Next is to cut the neckline. So for this neckline, I'm going to cut the back neckline first. You can see both the front and back are placed together. Then I'm going to cut the front neckline. But when cutting the front neckline, I will separate the front from the back because I don't want the back depth to be below 1 inch. So the last part that we would cut before we move to the sewing process is the center back. You can see the center back is on fold and we have our zipper allowance there, so we definitely have to open that up. So I'm going to open this up so that we can fix in our zipper. Now we are done with the cutting part. Let's move to the sewing part. I'm going to take away the front part of this dress and we'll be working on the back part for now. So on the back here, we are going to be facing the zipper and the neckline opening as well as the slit opening. So from the neckline here, I'm going to come down by 5 inches. So that will be for the neckline opening. Then I'm going to come down to 35 inches. This is where our slit opening would begin. Then from this point, I'm going to mark 1 inch through to where I have the 5 inches mark. So this area, I'm going to be fixing my zipper on this area. And where my zipper ends, wherever I want my zipper to end, I'm going to stitch that part up. And then at the base, we have the slit opening. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew this. This is the neckline opening I was telling you about. And this is the zipper. I'm going to face my zipper. And at the base, we have the slit opening. So this is the wrong side. See how neat this looks. Next, we are going to fold the edges of the slit opening. You're going to make a 2 times fold here. You're going to fold it in first one and then second one. And repeat the same process here. Then run your stitches over both of them. Now this is it. I've gone ahead to sew my slit opening and we are done with the center back. Then I'm going to bring in the front part of this dress and place it over the back one, right side facing right side. So what we are going to be doing now is to sew the shoulders. I'm going to sew the front shoulder to that of the back, from the neckline down to the edge of this dress. I'm going to repeat the same process for this part as well. So I'm done sewing the shoulders and this is what we have. See, everything is coming out very neat and beautiful. The next part we'll be joining will be the side, the lower side, that is the part below the butterfly. That's the part we'll be sewing now. So this area where we marked the 1 inch seam allowance, we'll sew that area from the butterfly length down to the hem. So I'm going to sew both sides and after sewing, we'll see what it looks like. I'm going ahead to sew this and here we have it. Next, I'm going to make notches here at this part and also at this part as well. Okay, this would help us separate the base from the butterfly area. Okay, Because we have notched this part, we now have a squared edge here, so we're just going to trim this part off to make these edges round instead of the sharp edge we have there. The next thing is for us to hem the edge of this butterfly sleeve, so I'm just going to fold this inward 2 times like we did for the slit opening at the center back. Then I'm going to run my stitch over this. I'll repeat the same thing for this other sleeve. I'll fold this inward twice and I'm going to run my stitch over this area that I will fold. So guys, I've gone ahead to hem this butterfly and this is what we have. What we'll be doing next is to fix the tie at the neckline. This is the tie that I'll be using for the neckline. I have this in 2 places. You can cut yours on fold or you can cut them separate the way I have mine. Okay, at the top here I have the width at 3 inches and at the base I have the width at 2 inches and I have the length at 53 inches. So I'll place one over the other like this. Then we'll be taking the measurement of the neckline so that we can use that to measure our necktie. So this is the main dress here. I'm going to fold this so I can get the midpoint of this dress, that's the center front. So once that is done, I'm going to take the measurement from the center back to the center front. I'll repeat this so that I get the exact measurements. After measuring, my results came out the same, which is 8 inches. Now I'm going to pick one of these necktie. I'll fold it into 2 and mark the midpoint. I'll place it over this first one like so, and from that midpoint I will mark 8 inches to this side. Once I get my 8 inches measurement, I'm going to mark this area down. Afterwards, I will go to the other side. From this marked area at the middle, I will mark 8 inches or so. So the reason I have 8 inches on both sides here is because we folded our dress into 2 before taking this measurement. Okay, so that will be 8 inches times 2. So that is why I have one on the side and one on the other side. So this will enable our tie go round the neckline. Next thing that we'll be doing is to sew this. So from this 8 inches mark, I'm going to sew down to the edge of this tie. I'll do the same thing for this side from this 8 inches downward, and I'm also going to close up this area. But if yours is on fold, then you don't have to close up this long area. But since mine is not on fold, I'm going to close it up. So this area that we have 16 inches, you're not going to be sewing that part. Here we have our necktie all sewn up. Okay, and I forgot to mention you are going to sew these parts up. I've done that. Next is to notch these parts. You're going to notch this close to the stitching line. Afterwards, we are going to turn this inside out. The reason we went through this process is just so the neckline would come out very neat. Okay, once you're done sewing, before turning this out, I'm going to cut the edges here, so this would help when turning the tie inside out, so that you have sharp edges by the time you are done turning this tie inside out. Alright, this is it. I'm done turning this, and look what we have here. Now you see the reason we had to notch this area. If you don't notch this area before turning, you'll find it very difficult fixing your necktie to the dress. Alright, next I'm going to fold this into 2 like so, and I will notch the midpoint of this necktie. Having notched the middle of this necktie, I'm going to fold the dress into 2 also, so that I can get the center front. So once I get the center front, I'm also going to place my notch there. All right, now what we'll be doing is to join this necktie to this dress, notched area to notched area. I'm going to be pinning from the wrong side. I'm pinning the necktie to the wrong side of this dress. I'll pin from one end, that's from the center back, one end of the center back to the other end of the center back. Now this is what it is, this is what it looks like. I'm done pinning this. Note when I was pinning, I did not pin the both parts of the necktie. All right, like let's say I pinned the facing. Okay, let me call it facing. I didn't pin the main necktie. All right, so I'll take this to the machine and sew the facing to the dress. After that, I'm going to now fold in the main necktie over the dress like so, and run my stitch over this. So I'm pinning this down so you see the way I'm going to sew this. I've gone ahead to sew this necktie, and this is what it looks like. You can see how neatly done this is. Look at the inside, we do not have any rough edges there, and this is looking so beautiful. This is how you tie it at the back. All right, so we are done with the facing of the neck, and the next thing we are going to be doing is to shaping our dress. And for us to do that, I'll go ahead and fold this dress into two. From this point, I'll come down by 11 inches. The 11 inches is for the arm width, remember the way we measured at the beginning. So on this right side, I would not be able to make the markings very clear because I really do not want this to be visible. Okay, so that was the reason I explained at the beginning using the wrong parts. So just exactly what I did there, the bust measurement, the quarter bust measurement, the quarter waist circumference, and that of the hip is exactly what I am doing here. This is how you are going to sew, following your line, following what you have measured. I'm going to turn this to the other side and repeat the same measurements that I have just taken on the first half. So just go ahead to mark your quarter bust measurements, the hip and the waist measurements, and once you are done, connect all the points together and we will be stitching that. Now when you sew down to the end there where we have our butterfly length. That's where you end this. Just easy peasy. Okay, I'm gonna head to open this up and this is what it looks like. Sew this way to that end, so this way, just follow your line to the end there, and that is it. After that, I'll hem the base of this dress. Yes guys, I've gone ahead to sew the shape on both sides of this dress, and I've also hemmed the base of my dress, and this is it. We are done with this. This is the sleeve opening, the 11 inches. Yeah, this is where your arm would come out from, and here we have our dress. This is looking so beautiful and gorgeous. If you have watched this video, you have gained value from it, and you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like this video and share. If you have questions, suggestions, drop them in the comments below, and do not forget to turn your notification bell on so that whenever I post amazing tutorials like this, you'll be the first to get updated. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.